On Target Institute presents a teaching from the Men on Target small group curriculum. Now with today's session, On Target founder Vince D'Acchioli.
Hello men, how you doing? Welcome to OTI. This is Module 4. This is session number 31. If you remember our last couple of sessions, we were dealing with a man and his wife. In session 31, we're going to be talking about a man and his family. Ephesians 5:25 says this, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church, and what did he do? Gave himself up for her." Love as Christ loved. Well, in the Old Testament, Christ, the meaning of that is the anointed one. And in the Old Testament, anointed meant three things. And these we really believe are the three offices that men need to understand that they occupy today. A man needs to be the family prophet, the family priest, and the family king. Let's kind of explore these. Three offices for men today. First, the family prophet. What does that mean? Well, a prophet in the old days typically had his back to God facing the family. A prophet had his back to God. In other words, he was hearing from God and bringing that voice into his family. That was one of the things that a prophet did. He represents God to his family. Very important for us to get this. He passes on biblical truths to his family, especially to his children, and he encourages all of the family members. These are the ideas wrapped up in becoming the family prophet. Well, what about the family priest? Just the opposite. The family priest has back to the family facing God. Now he is really going to God on behalf of his family. He stands in the gap. He prays for his family every single day. Guys, if you're not praying for your family every single day, you're out of order. Pray for every family member, even your extended family. He discovers their needs. He knows the needs of each family member, and he prays every day and presents those needs to God. Well, what about the family king? The family king, his job is to lead, to be out in front, to take the hits, as it were. It's kind of a protection thing. He is there. He would die for his family, and your family needs to feel that sense of security, that you're willing to be out in front, you're willing to die for them, and you are providing for them. It also means, guys, that we need to discipline, especially discipline our children in the right way to live and approach life. That's a whole other subject we could get into at another time, but these are generally the ideas around being the family king. Now, I want to talk to you about some things that get in the way of us being able to live these offices out. Let's talk about three lies that men believe. Lie number one is this: my work is a priority. Success is important. I've got to put in the hours that I'm putting in because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to provide for my family. In Ecclesiastes 2:4-11, this is after bragging about all Solomon had done and achieved. He talks about this. He says, "Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything," listen guys, everything was meaningless. "A chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun." Okay? We've got to understand that this is a lie, that the work is a priority, but it can become meaningless if we don't get this. Lie number two is kind of associated that money will solve all our problems. And Ecclesiastes 5:10-12 says this: "Whoever loves money," get this guys, "never has money enough." Have you experienced that? I have known people that are unbelievably wealthy, and no matter how wealthy they get, it seems to try to feed this insatiable appetite that I've got to have more. It goes on to say, "Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income." This too is meaningless. Watch this: "As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owner except to feast his eyes on them? The sleep of a laborer is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the abundance of a rich man permits him no sleep. I can't tell you, guys, in my own life, as I look back at my own life and some of the things that I went through, the more I thought I possessed and had, the more I lost sleep because I just wanted more. I just kept wanting more and more and more. I actually linked that lie to my own worth. Lie number 3, the amount of time I spend with my family is not as important as the quality of the time. Now, I have fallen into this trap, and today I see young people falling into this trap all the time. That I just don't have time. I'm buying into those lies. I don't have time to spend with my family. But when I am with my family, I'm trying to be very diligent. I'm trying to make sure that the time is very high quality. Well, what if you went into a restaurant and you said, I want the very best cut of meat. I don't care how much it costs. I want the best steak you have in this restaurant. And the waiter went away and he brought back this little tiny piece of steak on this big old plate. And you said, what is this? And he said, sir, this is the very finest cut of steak money can buy. He says, it's not the quantity that is important, it's the quality. Let me ask you a question, guys. How would you respond to that? Would you accept that? I don't think so. I've seen this illustration done a few times, and I've done it a few times myself in different audiences where I might be speaking. I'll ask my audience members to take out their wallets, and I'll say, I'd like to see the pictures that are in your wallet. And so they start pulling pictures out of their wallet, and I say, well, who's willing to show me some pictures? And so pretty soon some guys will pull pictures out of their wallet, and I'll start walking around, and some guy will pull a picture out, and it's of his wife, and I'll say, wow, that's really nice. She's a nice looking woman. I'll say something like, oh, you kind of outpunted your coverage there, didn't you? And he says, yeah, I outpunted my coverage. We'll have fun with that. And another guy will show me some pictures of maybe his children. And I'll say, that's nice. Those are your kids. Yeah, they're cute kids. I say, but that's not what I'm looking for. And I keep going around the audience. I do this for a very long time, by the way. And people are wondering, what's he looking for? Some guy will pull out a picture of his dog. Some guy will put out a picture of different ththings that are important to him. Picture of his boat or his car. And I'll say, no, that's not what I'm looking for. And then they start to get frustrated. It's kind of like, Dacchioli, what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for, how many of you guys, anybody here, have a picture of your boss? And of course, there's a mixture of laughter and there's a mixture of silence. It's kind of like, what do you mean a picture of my boss? Usually some wise guy will show me a picture of his wife, and I'll say, no, that's not what I'm talking about. How many of you have a picture of your boss in your wallet? And are you focusing more attention on the people that are in your wallet, or are you focusing more attention on the people that you work with? Guys, I got to tell you a sad story. My dad spent about 40 years of his life trying to impress people in the workplace that not one of them showed up at his funeral. Meanwhile, the woman he'd been ignoring for all those years was sitting in the front row weeping uncontrollably. Who are we paying attention to, guys? Who are the people in our life that we should be really paying attention to? And they're the pictures that are in your wallet. If that's what you value, ask yourself the question, are they getting the best of me? Well, life implication. Families where the man is not the prophet, priest, and king will suffer from a lack of spiritual development. That's just a fact, guys. As we look at families and we look at how families develop, their spiritual development is directly related to a man living out the idea of being a prophet, a priest, and a king. And if you're not doing those things, your family will struggle. Very important that you get this, guys. Life application, let's spend some time on this a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10, how am I doing as the prophet, priest, and king? You can go back, if you want, to your handout and look at those slides and look at all the different things that a prophet, priest, and king does. The prophet with his back to God. Are you spending time seeking God to discover his purpose and His vision for your family, and bringing that forth and helping and encouraging your kids in the areas of development that God wants to see them developing in? Are you doing those sorts of things? And as the priest, are you understanding the needs of your family? And are you taking them daily to God and presenting them and saying, Lord, please help my son. He's really struggling in school right now. He doesn't seem to be able to keep his attention on the things that are important, and he drifts and he wanders around, and as a result, he's not getting the grades that he should be getting. Or please pray for my wife. She's dealing with fear right now, and she's dealing with a sense of really being unsure and insecure about where we are in our future. Are you taking those unique needs of your family to the Lord? And then, of course, as the king, that's very, very important. Are you providing a place where your family can feel secure? Do they have a sense that you are out in front, and then you'll take the hits for them, that they don't have to worry about being protected? Are you spending enough time with them where they feel as though you really love them and that they really have your attention? And then number two, which of the three lies have I bought into? Go back over those lies. The idea that, that it's not the time I spend, it's the quality of the time that I spend. Are you guilty of saying those things and living those things out? Are you so much emphasis going into your work that your kids are saying, Daddy, are you going to come to my game today? Well, no, honey, I can't come to your game. Where are your priorities? Are you arranging your life in a way to where your family really feels like you're living up to the dad and the husband that you need to? Guys, have this discussion. I pray God richly blesses you during this time. And until next time, please don't forget about it.